watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
They just go with the flow. It's the Herschy and Keegs show.
Mike Keegan, every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
And here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and it is the Herschy and the Keegs show. We're back.
We're back.
I think we're better than ever, too.
I guess we'll see, won't we?
We will see. I don't hear anything. I'm not getting anything in my headphones. Are we good? Should I try these headphones? Is that
I hear everything
either way,
just
as long
fine.
as you're hearing. That's because probably my volume was super down. Thank you very much, Tony Walker. And thank you guys for tuning in to Herschy and the Keegs here Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Love you. Hey, I'm Mike Keegan, Mark Hirschman, Tony Walker.
What's up?
Not too much. We're ready to have a party.
Let's party it up. Before we get into anything, I think it's important because, we missed last week. We weren't here last week, and, we got hundreds, thousands of text calls. It's just overwhelming. It's so exhausting. Yeah. People want to know where we are. So I guess I have a two-part question for you if you're able to answer it, Mike.
Sure.
Number one, what was the reason why we couldn't do the show last week? And number two, why do you hate our show?
Just honestly, just straight didn't feel like coming in. I missed you guys so much last week. It wasn't the same, but I did have a great Tuesday night. I'll tell you what I did.
Yes.
For Christmas, I bought Carla tickets to go see Beetlejuice on Broadway.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was so fucking good.
So you do hate our show then?
So I do, yeah.
When you go, just out of curiosity, because I know that I plan every single facet of my life around this show.
Yeah.
So there's 7 days in the week, the last I checked. When you go, you're like, no, Monday or Wednesday won't work. Is Tuesday available?
Friday, Saturday, like a weekend.
I mean, how does it? Just explain to me the dynamic.
I will absolutely
explain. Oversight is what is it?
I'll exactly explain it to you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sound like such a cheap fuck.
No, I don't. If there's an answer, I'll go with it.
A friend of mine was selling tickets for about a third of the price that they were going for on Ticketmaster.
Okay.
Because she couldn't make it to the show.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, Christmas present. I got orchestra tickets. We were literally 3 rows from the stage for like a third of the price that they were going for on Ticketmaster. It just so happened to be a Tuesday, which I didn't even realize at the time.
Right.
Because I just looked, I saw the date. I didn't even see what day of the week it was. So I did feel terrible once I realized, oh shit, it's a Tuesday. Because
Yeah.
6 days of the week, I don't do a damn thing.
Nothing.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm in bed by now, 6
Right.
days a week.
No doubt.
So we went to go see Beetlejuice, but it was awesome.
So you went to see Beetlejuice. How many other of the Stern characters were in the show?
Fred the Elephant Boy was not there.
No.
because he
Hank the
passed
Angry
away.
Dwarf? Oh, he died also?
He died also.
Okay.
High Pitch Eric was there.
Okay, good.
Ironically, yeah. No, it was like the movie Beetlejuice. It wasn't like
Beetlejuice.
not
Michael
like the Howard
Keaton.
Stern.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the play either.
Okay.
And the guy that actually plays Beetlejuice wasn't in it either. It was an understudy.
Jesus Christ.
It
Was this a Broadway show or one of those off Broadways?
It was Hicksville High School's.
Oh my God. Oh my God in heaven.
No, it was on Broadway. It was a homosexual fella.
Broadway in
plays-
Hicksville?
Broadway in Hicksville, exactly. It was the Broadway Commons, right by
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Right by the Taco Bell on the corner there.
Okay. So it was a homosexual fella. I don't know why that's important for the story, but okay, go ahead.
Because it's a gay Beetlejuice. Like, I'm used to Beetlejuice being like, hey,
Wait, is that the shtick? Like, it's a gay Beetlejuice show?
He's still like an evil demon, but he's very like flamboyant.
Oh, I got you.
He's
okay.
a heavy fella. He was a
heavy Beetlejuice.
Yeah, heavy
Okay.
Beetlejuice.
Okay.
But it was a great show. We were literally 3 rows from the stage. Phenomenal. People go there, and it was sold out.
Yeah.
People go there dressed up like Beetlejuice.
Wow.
Fucking a lot of freaks out there.
Yes.
When I got my Beetlejuice costume on before I went there,
Right.
No, but it was actually a lot of fun. I ran into fellow Long Island comedian Allison Persky was there.
Oh, Allison Persky was
Love
there,
her.
right?
She's a cool chick.
Lovely.
She's a cool chick.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
Yep.
She was there. I mean, like I was the other homosexual fellow that works there was showing us to our seats, and I
don't know
lost
why this
Carla.
is-
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's what they are.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I
that's what
lost
you
Carla.
are.
I'm like, where the hell's Carla? And I see her talking to this Allison Persky, and I'm like, oh
Okay.
shit, Allison's here. So we ended up going to Junior's Cheesecakes afterwards. Got a
Oh,
cheesecake.
wow.
I drove Allison home like a gentleman. And we had a 3-way.
So you guys, you just you laughed about Beetlejuice, and you had a great time, and you
did.
frolicked over the fact that the podcast studio was empty that night, and then
I
meanwhile,
felt so
the
bad.
people, the diehards, the Steve Spraguses and the pig vomits of the world, who were sitting on every single word, and you're watching. Beetlejuice in a off Broadway production on Delaney Street.
Exactly.
Man.
I did feel bad because it was. I love the show. I love
Yeah.
coming here.
No, you don't.
And I feel no. When I had to tell you, like, do you know the anxiety you get when you have to tell your boss that you're taking off of work?
Yeah.
That's the anxiety I felt when
You're
I felt
such a
when I
lying
had to
sack of
text
shit.
you. I swear to God, I'm like, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Telling Mark I'm not going to be able to make
It's
it.
Tuesday afternoon. Hey, Mike and Mark. Hey, Tony and Mark can't make it. Later, guys. That's it. I'm like, what?
Something came up that I bought tickets for 3 months ago.
Oh my God.
But I got a good deal on the tickets, and
That's great.
It ended Sunday. Sunday was the last show.
Oh well, and if that's the case,
So yeah, I wouldn't have had a chance to
Then-
see it after that.
yeah. No, I got you.
But it was good because I'll tell you, what happened was the last like 4 years I've bought Carla tickets to Broadway shows. The first year I bought tickets was 2019,
Okay.
and Broadway shut down. It was for To Kill a Mockingbird. I got her tickets. It's her favorite book. She's a lawyer. Blah, blah,
Atticus
blah.
Finch.
Atticus Finch.
Yeah.
Boo Radley.
Yep.
So I got a ticket to see To Kill a Mockingbird. 2 days before the show was supposed to happen, pandemic shuts down Broadway. Then I get her tickets for the following year. Broadway's still not open.
Right.
I think they shut down again.
Right.
The second time.
Right.
And then I got her tickets last year for something. We ended up not being able to go. So I'm like, all right, I'll get her Broadway tickets this year. And then I'm like, fuck, it's a Tuesday. I can't.
Did you ever actually want to see the Atticus Finch?
Did
To Kill a
not, and I
Mockingbird?
wanted to.
Because I love that book. Gregory
I-
Peck in the movie.
It was like the one book that I actually read in high school.
Ditto.
I did all the
Same.
Cliff's notes for every other book.
What was the little girl's name? Ham?
Scout.
Scout?
Ham?
I knew it was something
Ham?
short. I knew it was something.
Ham Finch?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Harper Lee was on mushrooms when she wrote the
Can I
book.
give you guys a little trivia question?
Sure.
Do you remember, and you might know the answer to this, but I'm fascinated by it. At the end of the movie, Boo Radley open a door and Boo Radley is in the room there. like hiding behind the door, and like Boo Radley had been like a very scary scary character.
Yeah.
But now Scout and Boo Radley were friends.
Yeah.
And so the Boo Radley was a young, maybe 20-something-year-old man, blonde hair, was a scared-looking character. You know who played Boo Radley in that very short scene in that movie?
I do not remember.
Do you know Tony
Did you
Walker?
play him?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I thought
you
that
know who it
was
was? You would know. It would hit you right off the bat. The actor who played that very small part of Boo Radley was
Corky from Light Goes On.
Robert Duvall.
Was it Robert? Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Robert
shit.
Duvall. Isn't that
Wow.
amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that.
I had no idea, and I barely remember the movie, but I know I love the book.
It's the movie was great, the book was great, and you know what? Maybe I'm gonna go see the show on a Tuesday night and leave you here. I'm thinking about it.
Maybe you and I will both go. I'll get you tickets for a third of the price.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, 2 books that I read in high school that I didn't do the Cliff Notes were that one and Catcher in the Rye. I loved Catcher in the
You
Rye.
like J.D. Salinger?
Yeah.
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 I was an English major, buddy, so I had
Were
to
you
read all
really?
this stuff.
Oh, no shit.
I was a very proud English major at
Nice.
Stony Brook University. Thank you.
Very nice.
So you had a good time.
I
so
never
it was,
even knew you were Asian.
so it was worth
Speaking
it.
of
to-
Asians, there were so many fucking. Not that I'm mad about.
No,
There
why
were
are
a
you so
lot.
angry?
I don't
Asian
know.
hate.
There were a lot of Asians in the play Beetlejuice. Like all
Really?
the background dancers and shit. There were like gay Asians. Gaysians, says Tony. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think you were going to make like a Chinese Beetle joke here or something like that.
No, but I do like them hearing them pronounce Beetlejuice. No, but I've never seen like Asian people on Broadway except in like Miss Saigon or whatever the fuck.
God,
But
man.
like I've never seen Asian people on Broadway. And I go
can't
to
this
Carlo.
show
I'm like,
just be
I'm like,
good?
this stage is littered with Asian people. They were great. They were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like have you, the one thing that pissed me off. The one thing that pissed me off about the show. You remember the movie, right? Beetlejuice.
Of course.
Remember Otho, the big fat guy that was like her guru? Mm-hmm. It was a skinny Asian gay guy with long hair.
Okay. Let's just go back again. You were not on Broadway. Is that right?
I think it was at my house. I don't even think I left my house.
Did you go into Manhattan?
No, it was literally on Broadway. It was at the Marquee Theater right next to where
So
they
it's a
do
okay, it was a Broadway show. Okay.
Yeah, it was the Marquee Theater right next to where they do Hamilton.
But you were there on a Tuesday night where the tickets were 1/3 of the price, and you had the backups to the backups there.
Exactly.
Right?
I figured it would probably be the Stars because the show was ending 5 days later.
And they're like, "Fuck it."
They're like, "Fuck it, it's too." Yeah.
Keep it in the audience.
Why does it have to be that like they're not recreating, like the movie? Like what? It didn't matter that the guy was skinny or
Apparently it did, Tony.
It mattered to me. I wanted a real
Apparently
authentic
did.
looking. But you know what it was?
Apparently
The understudy and the guy that is the real Beetlejuice on Broadway, both very big guys.
Yeah.
They both look like Carla's ex Jay. They both look exactly like him.
Okay, Big Jay
Like,
Okerson, yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what I said to Carla. I'm like, is that Big Gay Okerson on stage? Like,
Oh, yeah.
is that, they
what
both
you
looked
call
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what everybody started calling me when I first started
Tony,
doing comedy.
is your mic on when you're laughing, Tony? Yes
It
or no?
is.
Okay.
It is,
Because
actually.
I'm gonna go over there and
That's
club
literally
you.
what Richie Byrne used to call me when I started dating Carla. Like, oh, what are you, Big Gay Okerson?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, but they're both big guys, but they're both very flexible.
Yeah.
and
Flamboyant?
Yeah, very flamboyant. But
Yeah.
the guy that really does it has like this disease in his throat, so he has like a raspier voice. Mm-hmm. This guy had a gayer voice.
Okay. So he didn't need a tracheotomy, this guy?
Get a tracheotomy.
Okay.
But it was a great show. It was phenomenal.
Good. Great.
I would recommend it, but it's fucking done now.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
So I missed you at all.
So that was the bright point. I mean, I think it's something that we have to address good things here and bad things. And obviously, we all lived through, the whole nation lived through something very scary last week when the Buffalo Bills player went down, and it was. Hold on, am I gonna? And it was horrifying. Every single one of us. Mike's wearing a Straight Outta Buffalo shirt. I am wearing a Buffalo hat because Mike and I had made a decision. Even though Mike is a a longtime Buffalo fan. I had texted him and said that because of what had happened, and I didn't even know if DeMar Hamlin was, is that his name?
DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah,
Yes.
if he was going to survive, I had said that I was committing to being a Buffalo fan for the remainder of the year.
Yeah,
even though they play in the conference that my team, the Jets, do.
Yep.
I had committed to it.
But the Jets are out now, so
the
now
Jets
you
are
got
out of it.
team,
But as so I made that commitment. I will tell you though, as Mike and I were just talking about before the show, the fact that this guy walked out of the hospital yesterday and he's now listed as probable.
Oh boy!
No,
this
the fact
this is just uncalled for.
it is a little bit,
he
like
listen, survived. He survived.
Listen, did I say Wisson? Listen,
Listen to
I have a secret to tell you people.
Looks like Wayne.
DeMar
Hamlin.
DeMar Hamlin, are you okay? I will tell you that.
That's what he sounds like now, actually.
No, it's just interesting that. Listen, I
love him.
I would say that most of us thought he wasn't making it through the night. It was horrifying. It was
Absolutely.
There was weeping. It was a crazy thing, and it's almost miraculous, surreal. The fact that he's tweeting and he's doing TikToks and Instagrams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The picture of him sitting up with his parents in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
Doing this. I think I don't know what that means. Like, have you two penises in your hand?
Yeah,
Whatever
two little penises, two little Jew penises together. Yeah.
But like the doctors tweeted that like he was during the Bills game on Sunday, he was like jumping up and down watching the game.
No.
I'm like, where's that?
Hold on a second. Today, he did a TikTok where he did a triple somersault. So
the guy's in better shape than he's ever been in his life.
It's amazing.
Like, it's hard. I obviously, you gotta have sympathy for the guy. He does have a long road to
he
recovery.
ran the Disney a 10K today.
he's listed as probable for Sunday against Miami.
I just don't listen, it's a wonderful story, but like when the Yankees would win championships back in the 90s, it would always be because like they found out like, Joe Torre's brother died, Yankees won the championship. There was always something like that.
Yeah.
This, I don't know if the rally cry is as strong right now.
For last week's game against the Patriots, it was.
Oh,
it was
yeah. But I'm saying going forward,
I bet
though.
heavy on the Bills last week.
As did I.
As 7 point.
As did I.
7 point favorite.
So I have a guy that I used to work with at Briarcliff years ago, and he said, it's 8.5, and I said I would lay 85. I think that God has taken over,
and it was close. It was close to that.
God has taken over this game. That's what I told him beforehand. I said, whatever the spread is, we'll play it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
fucking Brett Favre's dad died. He throws a pass up. To heaven.
That's exactly right. So the point is, he could have milked this a little bit longer.
Do it for the team. Take one for the team.
Yeah.
Post a couple of fucking Instagram pictures with tubes coming out of your neck, and then off camera you can dance around with your family.
He bench pressed 380 today.
Do it bench press 380, but do it like in a basement, and
don't tell anybody.
Don't tell the team.
So my question is, and obviously we're kidding, and the fact that he's well, thank God, and hopefully he continues to improve. My question is, what he had, can he by next year? Can he play again? I mean, is that, or are they saying that these are injuries that were not?
They didn't make it clear if he'd be able. The doctors said that the ultimate goal is that he'll be back to the shape he was in the day before.
So maybe he can play. Can you imagine?
Imagine he comes, but the guy is seconds from death on the field, and so many cool stories came from it. Also,
oh my God.
The trainer that was giving him the CPR on the field when Naeem Hines ran that ball back for the touchdown, the kickoff. He ran the ball back for the touchdown.
Yes.
They gave that ball to the trainer that saved his life on the field.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I got goosebumps right now talking about it.
Now, wait, but he ran another touchdown back in the second half. What did they do with that ball?
They took the first ball back from the trainer. Like, that doesn't mean...
You don't need this.
Yeah, you don't need this shit.
Really remarkable. Just remarkable.
That one they gave to the popcorn guy.
Just incredible story. God bless him and his family, and we will.
What a good story about the family and everything. I mean, both his parents had him when they were 16 years old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Father ended up going to jail for selling drugs.
Okay,
and every other stereotype you could think of, but no, I don't know.
Every other stereotype you could think of.
But the family just embraced God and
Yeah.
became a very God-loving, God-fearing family. He could have gone to any college he wanted to play ball.
Okay.
Could have gone to an SEC school. He could have gone to Notre Dame. He went to Pitt so that he could be close to his little brother and be a good influence on his
I didn't know
little
any of
brother.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that, and I think it's amazing. I'll be rooting for the Bills, and
Go Bills.
and you'll be rooting for the Bills, and God bless him and his family. And that was a pretty incredible thing.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to ask you a question because I had I drove. Do you ever go upstate New York and realize that the people in upstate New York, anywhere like 3 hours or above up, are a different breed? Their brains.
It's called inbreed.
You hate to stereotype when people who live upstate, they're like Alabama.
You hate the stereotype, but it's true.
Every time I
have family from up there, and they are.
Well, so hold on, and this connects to your family kind of. So I drove Samantha back to upstate to Binghamton the other day, and I'm sure you're aware of this. There's a chain of gas stations and convenience stores called Mirabito.
Yeah,
have you
right.
seen that?
Yeah.
Mirabito.
Yep.
Which I believe is how you pronounce your mother's maiden name and Aunt Patty.
It's Morabito.
Yeah.
But it's it's very similar, and I've seen it up there. Yeah.
So it's prominent, and that's where when I drop her off, I go load up and get gas, go to the bathroom, get some Mike and Ike's, and I walk in, and the guy who's working the counter, he's got to be like in his 50s, and you can tell he's a fucking weird cat already. And I walk in, and he does like, hey, like, he gives me like a round half wave, and I'm like, this is going to be uncomfortable.
This is
It's going to be fucking weird. And I have another several hours ahead of me after literally just driving several hours, dropping her and getting back in the car.
Yeah.
So I'm a little cranky, you know. So the half wave, and I get my Mike and Ike's, and I go to pay for a bottle of water and the Mike and Ike's, and the guy says to me, do you have a Mirabito card? And I'm like, I don't know what you said. I'm sorry. He's like, do you have a Mirabito card? And I'm like, I don't have a faintest idea what you said. I just want to pay Mirabito card. He's insisting on bullying through that fucking name. Like, it's not a Mirabito card. It's a fucking Morabito card.
It's a Morabito card.
So he's like, you want one? I'm like, no, I don't want one.
I do not want to. I've got several Morabito cards. You don't want one.
You don't want one, but he's saying it like a dick face. To be a fucking asshole that should have got his face punched in. He's saying it purposely like a
He
fuck.
called up his sister, the Yebako lady.
Yeah, exactly. It was almost like that.
Like, the two of them just.
You want a
fuck with him.
Yabako card? Yeah, it was kind of like that. But he's saying it like a douche, and I don't want any part of it. I just want to get in the fucking car because he's just slowing my shit down. I want to go, you know? So he's like, all right, fine. And so he goes, put your credit card in, and then it says, like, please sign. And he goes, just go ahead and sign your life away, he says. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, signing. I'm getting Mike and Ike's and a fucking bottle of water for $1.88. I'm like, why are you saying weird shit to me?
Yeah.
You know?
They come down here and they say Dominico's.
Right.
Exactly.
Same type of thing. But it infuriated me, and it made me think. It made me angry that he was fucking
I hate
with me.
this guy. He's probably an uncle of mine.
Mirabito card? You want a Mirabito card? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, you Mirabito.
Just go ahead and sign your life away. That's not funny. That's not like now. I'm thinking that you're scamming me, and you're gonna fucking pilfer my credit card.
Something's gonna happen.
somehow.
Somebody's gonna be in the back seat of my car with garrote wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
because it's very likely that I am signing my life away. I don't know anybody up here. I don't know. You have your cousins in the law enforcement.
I don't know what's
They're
happening.
They're going to take me to the house of 1,000 corpses and rape me.
It just annoyed the living hell out of me.
Yeah.
And
what area of upstate New York?
This was like Vestal, Binghamton.
Okay.
You know,
So
200 something
near
miles
Binghamton.
away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But he was just fucking with me, and it made me annoyed, and
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I had
And
a
it was
terrifying experience like that this weekend too. Like,
Okay.
I had a show in Maine on Saturday.
I saw that you and Carla were in Maine. Now,
Yeah.
you couldn't get any shows in Wisconsin? Jesus fucking Christ.
Let's go to the most.
How
fucking-
far? How did you get booked in Maine?
I have no idea. It's actually these guys. This guy Leonard Kimball, very nice guy, very nice black guy. You like, what do you call them, Schwarzes?
No, we don't call them that.
He always calls them that. I don't like it. But no,
We call them black blacks.
Very nice guy, Leonard Kimball. He runs. It's called the River Comics. And I saw that he was booking these shows.
You should be thrown in a river as a comic.
Be thrown in a river. I felt like I should have been thrown in a river. And
so he books you with the River Comics.
It was in an area called Auburn, Maine, which is very, very hipster.
Okay.
Literally every business is a craft brewery, medical marijuana, craft brewery, medical marijuana barbershop. Brewery, it was wild. And I did not belong there. It was a very liberal. I parked right in front of somebody. It was literally a Prius with a Joe Biden sticker. I told Carla, I'm like, I am not going to do well in this place.
No.
I did okay. Carla did great. Carla had a great
of
set,
course.
But
she's funnier too.
But plus she's more talented. And but we brought Juliana. We wanted to make a weekend out of it, so we brought Juliana.
How much time did she do?
Juliana did 25 minutes. Killer, just
tight.
filthy.
Yeah. Okay.
And, but, so I figured, we'll leave Friday when I get out of work, and we'll drive to Boston, spend the night in Boston.
Perfect.
Spend the day in Boston, and then drive to the show in Maine, which is only 2 hours away from Boston.
Okay, good.
When you get up to Maine, though, it is just like that, and even worse. Like, we stayed in there was a bed and breakfast. Marabro.
Yeah.
We stayed in a bed and breakfast run by this old, she was old Ukrainian lady. Okay. And it was this old Victorian house that was built in 1899. Do you have any
slurs to talk about her with?
Oh, I do. Goddamn cabbage eaters.
I figured you had some stored up there, Archie. I figured you did. How's Stretch Cunningham doing?
This place was terrifying. It was this old Victorian house. We were the only ones staying there. Built in 1899. Yeah. The place, if there was one haunted house in the world, this was fucking place.
Why? How did you pick this fucking place?
Because they give you $20 off if you stay there if you're a comedian.
Oh, okay. So it's a connected thing to the comic.
Connected to the Craft Brewer Underground is where the show was. And this place was just terrifying.
Clean?
It was very clean.
Okay, good.
Like scary clean.
Scary clean.
And so we get back at nighttime, and
like formaldehyde type of clean.
We get back after the show, and it's dark out. There was snow on the ground, so I couldn't see where to park.
Okay, good.
So I ended up accidentally parking on the sidewalk.
Oh wow!
And so
now, did the 11 gin and tonics have anything to do with that?
Plus, exactly. So I'm like trying to creep into the house, and I know everyone's sleeping. It's late now, and this old Ukrainian lady just sneaks up behind me. I need you to move car. And I fucking screamed.
Wait, were you by yourself, or you were?
Yeah, because Carl and Juliana had gone up to the room already.
And so, what were you doing coming back by yourself?
I was grabbing one of my bags. And
okay.
And I have to lock the door.
Oh, I would have never done that by myself ever.
I didn't think I was going to be so terrified as I was.
Shit.
I'm like, yeah, you guys go up.
Dude, I didn't know you were a fucking you were like a goddamn Shogun warrior.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit, that you were able to do that?
That's what you think until 1 second when I was by myself, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to see a specter right now. Like,
I would have been scared. Shitless.
Yeah, exactly. I was
dark and snow and Ukrainian women.
Not only do I expect to see a ghost, the little Ukrainian woman comes out of nowhere and just goes, "I need you to move car," and I screamed.
Wow,
like a little fucking girl.
Bowel release. You got
my
scared.
God,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you
and
soiled your
trousers. So she goes, "Come look," and she like shows me where I was supposed to park on like the opposite side. She's like, "You park on sidewalk." So
I know you're the ex-governor of New Jersey, but
you can't just park anywhere.
But you can't park where you want. Not nice.
Exactly. You don't have ambassador rights. So,
Holy
so I moved
shit.
the car, but now again I have to come into this dark house, this old Victorian house, and I was reading like the sign outside, and it was like talking about like the people that owned the house originally were pioneers of the shoemaking industry in Maine.
Oh wow!
And they all like had these untimely deaths. I'm like, of course this place is gonna be haunted. And now I'm like, I gotta walk.
If anyone could have had an untimely death there, it could have been you.
It was.
Sure.
I wish it was me because I had to walk through this dark living room again and up these stairs. It was terrifying, and it ended up being beautiful.
Yeah.
The place we stayed in Boston, it was called the Yotel.
Yep.
And it was half the size of this studio. It was the room and the bathroom put together.
But no Ukrainians.
No old Ukrainians.
Was it clean? That's all I give a fuck about hotels.
Very clean. Both places were very clean. That's the
bathrooms.
first thing that I look for when I book a place.
Yeah.
Is I look at the reviews to see how clean they are.
Okay, good.
They were both meticulously clean.
Okay.
And but it was a fun weekend. But Maine is terrifying because there's a million people like that up there that look like the kid from Deliverance.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, little Joe Biden.
Exactly,
Yeah.
young Joe Biden. And I hear banjos when I walk to my
There
room.
must be something about bed and breakfast because I have one bed and breakfast experience. Breakfast?
Bread and
Maybe that's why it was terrible.
That's why
Wait, is this a bed and breakfast or a bed and breakfast?
You stated a bread and breakfast.
I just want some bread and breakfast. That's all I want. I want to get some sleep. Don't give me those fancy bed and breakfast with the Ukrainians.
Brexit? You stated.
Where is the breakfast?
I want some bread and I want fucking Brexit because I'm sick of all the shit that's going on in the United Kingdom right now.
I will tell you that this was before I got married. This was back in like the mid '90s. Stacy and I and my buddy Gallagher and his wife at the time and another
Rest in
couple.
peace.
She's alive.
No, Gallagher.
not the watermelon smasher.
Oh, okay.
No. This is Brian Gallagher, not the watermelon smasher.
Guy. I'm like, oh,
So-
no wonder they hated you. You guys made a mess.
We stayed. That's right. You can't come to this fucking breakfast and smash watermelons around. You piece of shit. You Ukrainian piece of shit.
No way that's gonna go well. Exactly.
So the girls book us a bed and breakfast on the White Horse Turnpike in Atlantic City.
Oh boy.
Okay, and we get there. I'd never been in a bed and breakfast before. Never been in one before.
You still haven't been.
And but we get there, and I was very pleasantly surprised that it was very homey, very comfortable, very clean.
Yeah.
And there was a couple that was running it. Howard and Anna May was their name, okay? And they told us the story how they had grown up in the house next door.
Okay.
They were brother and sister, and
boy.
now they live in the house next door together.
And their husband and wife.
And they still live together, but they bought the house next door and turned it into a bread and breakfast. Okay,
bread and breakfast.
We were there for a couple of nighs. We were there for.
We don't have anywhere to sleep, but there's so much bread.
They sleep on
You
the bread.
sleep on the bread.
I have to tell you that this is something that I think about often in my life, this experience. So we go to Atlantic City, we gamble, we come back the first night. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. Everyone's asleep, and me and Gallagher are downstairs in the basement. And the basement is all like board games and like Parcheesi and Connect 4.
Yeah.
It's just like an old 70s basement, but carpeting and plush couches that's very clean, you know? And Anna May, before we went to sleep, said, anything that's in the fridge and the freezer downstairs, you guys can help yourselves to. So we're down there and we're rolling spliffs and we get fucking baked out of our skulls. Like out of our goddamn minds.
jeez.
We're just delirious. So Gallagher's like, go in the fucking freezer. She told us to go ahead and we can. So I open up the freezer and it was almost like God was shining down on us. There was a humongous gallon of ice cream. It was strawberry shortcake ice cream.
Oh, when
so
you're high, that's
hold on a
amazing.
second. So you know when you get like the bars, the humor bars of strawberry shortcake with the grit and the pink and tan grit, whatever it is. It was a gallon of that.
Oh, that's amazing.
So in my life to this day, I've never tasted anything like it, and we fucking skunked that thing. We went right through it like nothing. And so the next morning we wake up and she's cooking us, eggs and hash browns and sausage, everything. And she comes up to me and Brian. She's like, "See, you boys like the strawberry shortcake ice cream," because we threw it in the garbage. We had enough sense to throw it in the garbage after we rifled through it. But so we had a great experience, a totally amazing experience. We didn't even fuck it up. They liked us, we liked them. maybe 2 or 3 summers later, we were in Atlantic City for an all-nighter, same group of people for the most part. And it was like maybe like 5 or 6 in the morning, and we were going to be heading to the safari and Great Adventure, but we wanted to stop somewhere to shower and like clean up a little bit. And we were all fucked up. Someone who was not fucked up was driving, or maybe someone who was. I don't even know. Hopefully not. But we actually called Howard and Anna Mae, and they were like, don't ever call us again. The fucking gall that you guys did that to us, put us in a situation to ask us. This is not some sort of fucking outhouse. Like they were so twisted.
Wow,
and
really?
we were like so upset that we had fucked up the wonderful memory of Howard and Anna Mae. She was like, don't ever, they knew who we were. They remembered us, whatever.
Oh my
and
God.
we fucking blew it.
Wow, what a bitch.
Yeah.
What did I miss though?
Yeah.
What did you do that pissed her off?
We
so
called
much?
them. Well, we must have been like screaming and drunk, and
Yeah.
and we were like, we want to come and shower. We'll pay you guys like a.
Hey, Anna Mae, you want to hold it? For
Yeah,
me
like they
in the
probably
shower?
thought we wanted to treat it like it was a no-tell motel type of thing, and it was disrespectful, and she was pissed.
Oh man!
So
Wow.
ended it. Yeah.
Oh poor.
There's to you, Howard and Anna Mae.
Howie.
We love you. Hope you're screwing each other like the old days. Yeah.
Yeah, this this old Ukrainian lady, I was looking. She had this like judgment against her for being like racist against like people that had stayed there in the past. Though
Hopefully, Irish Italian boys.
one of the cutest things though, and then I'll get off the whole main Boston thing. They have a Boston Tea Party museum. So Juliana and we walked to this park, and right across from the park they have the Boston Tea Party museum. So we grabbed Carla, went to the museum.
When you're in Boston now.
This is the day before. Well, it was the day.
Oh yeah, and they have the ship, and you can go and do the whole
and
thing.
you throw the tea
We've
off.
done that.
Oh yeah,
we've
it's
done
really
it.
cool.
Yeah, we've
Juliana
done it.
did not want to do the museum, but they have the tea house. You could go
Yeah,
to
the
the tea
tea
house.
house. Yeah,
Abigail's tea house.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be Abigail Adams is in there.
Right.
So, and when you go into this tea house, they're all dressed up like they're in the 1773, and this girl dressed up like Abigail Adams. So she was messing with Juliana, and she goes to Juliana, "Oh, did you come here on your horse?" And Juliana's like, "No, we came in a car." And this woman's like, "What's a car? I never heard of a car. We came here on a horse." Juliana's like, "These people are crazy. They never heard of a
because
car
they're in
before."
character.
'Cause they're
That's
in character. They're playing like they're in 1773.
Yeah, they're out of their
Juliana's
gourds.
like, "This is a phone. We
Yeah.
call people." She was so pissed off.
that's
Juliana.
amazing.
Yeah, she's like, "These people never heard of a car. She has weird clothes." I'm
That's
like,
amazing.
So she didn't get like the whole kitschy kind of thing about it.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
She's a tough little customer. That
she
kid.
is. Yeah, it's her way of the highway, and
Yeah, we did the whole thing. We threw out the bales of tea and
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was, and we dealt with those wackos, and when they gave us a tour, and
yeah, it was this.
yeah.
I guess special needs lady that sells the tickets for the tour.
Mm-hmm.
So a tour had just started 2 minutes before we got there.
Right.
So Carla's like, "Hey, listen, we can't wait around for the next tour to start. Could we just pay and get on this tour?" And the girl, obviously special needs, but Carla was like having, I guess she had a headache and she was had no patience that day.
Right.
She's like yelling. It's like
Doesn't
she's
sound
"No."
like Carla at all.
So the girl's like, next door tour starts.
Next door,
Next door, Stortard. I don't call them that. No, she was no, but she was just saying she was just taught to repeat like next
Yeah.
tour starts at 1 p.m. Next tour. So
Right.
Carla's like, "Yeah, but can we go on this one? Next tour starts at 1 p.m. Yeah, but if we go on this one, can we just go join them?
Join
next
late.
tour starts at 1 p.m. And Carla's getting furious.
Right.
I'm like, Carla, she's obviously
Carla's gonna give a special needs girl a seizure.
exactly. So I had
she's
to like grab
berating
Carla.
her.
Yeah, exactly. So
So you didn't go on that.
So we didn't
tour.
do the tour.
Oh, wow.
But we went to the tea house.
Good.
And then we drove to Maine.
You did. So it was
It
wonderful.
was a nice weekend. Yeah.
Nice weekend. One of the things that I do when I go on my long road trips, and you've probably been victimized by this, but you're not a big phone talker, is that if I'm in the car for 5, 10, usually 4 hours each way at least, I like to make some phone calls, to pass the time.
You've never called me, and it's probably because you know that I'm not
You're
a
not a
phone
phone
guy.
person, yeah.
But you know what? Carte
Yeah.
blanche. Feel free to call me next time.
One
you're
of my
driving.
go-to people is one of my close friends and a friend of the show. Although we've never had him on, I don't think. Eric Haft, who's a great guy, very close friend of mine, friend of yours.
Very, very funny
Tony
comedian.
Walker
Just
knows.
ask him.
Yes. So, but Eric and I we like to talk on the phone. You know, like we're some of the survivors of the of that. So when I call Eric, I know that it's not going to be a lot of me talking and a lot of me listening, which is fine. I don't have any issue with it at all. Listening to how great he did, listening to how how many sets he this weekend.
Great gigs he's got coming up.
Exactly. And then as he knows that the conversation's coming to an end, I'll get all good with you. But so we're in conversation. Now, I'll preface this by telling you that we did a show together, you and I here.
You'll prefix this?
I'll preface, not prefix. We did a show a couple of months ago, and if you remember, I did a few new bits, and one of the new bits, which I even had probably conferred with you about, was how nowadays, like even if you sniffle, you always have to tell people no, it's not COVID, it's not COVID. Yeah. And then I had said, like, I wonder if they did this in the 1500s. If you walked into the town square, don't worry, it's not syphilis, or it's not.
It's not the plague, not the black plague.
So maybe like a week or two before that gig, as I will do sometimes, I'll talk to you, or I'll talk to Eric, and I'm like, give me some names for some diseases in the 1500s. And he, maybe he said bubonic plague, or maybe you said, I
said the plague, and
he said.
Did they call it the plague then? Did they know it was a plague?
Yeah, I mean, whether they did or didn't, it doesn't matter. I was looking, whatever fifth disease or whatever it was. So I wrote the bit, did it that night. It went over well. It was fine. So then him and I are talking, and I'm like, how'd your gig go? He's like, oh, it was good. I did this bit and that bit. And I did this new bit about, walking into the town square in the 1500s and, sneezing. And, I wonder if that's like, so he's essentially And so then I think he's like fucking with me,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So he's like, it went over great. Like, what do you think of that bit? I'm like, well, I wrote it.
Well, when I wrote it, I loved it, and then when I asked you about it,
so he's like, stop. And I'm like, Eric, do you remember when we had spoken about a couple of months ago? He's like, holy shit! And the truth is, he never would steal a bit in a million years.
Exactly.
But sometimes it's like what's that, parallel thinking?
Yeah, parallel thought, but also like subliminal, like he didn't realize he definitely had the conversation with you. Totally forgot about the conversation, and it popped into his head.
Right.
He's like, I'm thinking of this.
So I said to him, I said, do you know like parallel thinking? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that was not this, because this was not parallel thinking. I had done this bit and I told you about it. But I said, it's you obviously forgot that it just came into your head. So I said to him, I said, this is coming on the podcast tonight. I said, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. So
oh my god! So that's his new bit though. I heard it. People are saying it's great.
People are going crazy about it.
So who gets to do it now? Are you going to do it, or is he?
I told him that he can do it and just pay me the royalty is fine. It didn't matter.
Speaking of like old disease, I was looking up because me and Tim Thompson did that one time.
Oh, you did? So maybe I heard it from you guys. Okay.
But we didn't do a bit about it. But we're just like they used to have like crazy names. Like these are some of them like black dog depression.
Yes.
And apoplexy.
Apoplexy. Yeah.
Apoplexy.
Mm-hmm.
Breakbone.
Breakbone.
Did you hear Abigail's got the breakbone? Shit like that. Like they're so funny. I mean, you can go on and on, but
we'll just do a whole segment on that.
Yeah.
On
Chalkstones.
Chalkstones. Yeah, I had that in 11th grade. I remember.
Domestic malady, consumption.
Yep.
Consumption's a good one for you to use in your bit, or I'll tell Eric.
Yeah, just tell Eric. He can do it. Just tell Eric. Yeah.
Dropsy of the brain.
Dropsy. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
She's got the green sickness.
We'll work on this and we'll make it a segment.
Yeah.
So that happened this weekend. I also got a new watch, by the way.
Hear about Mortimer? He's got the lumbago.
Hold on. I got a new watch. So I want to tell you, I bought myself a new watch.
That is a nice.
Yeah. I'm loving this watch. But, of course, the watch comes, and no watch can ever be perfectly sized, so I have to find somewhere that will go take a link out for me.
Yeah.
And I had another watch of Stacy's that needed a battery. So where I have always gone but have not been in years is the Tri-County Flea Market over here. Okay? Are you familiar with the Tri-County Flea Market?
Big time.
So
that's where I bought my first fake ID.
So take the Tri-County Flea Market and think about it the way you've always thought about it, and realize that they've made changes to it. Now there's some sort of bizarre element to
Like
it.
a thrift store there
Thrift,
now.
it's like a full-blown, pretty big thrift shop, and you have to think to yourself, new owners, it must be better than it used to be. There's no way it could be worse. But I haven't been there in years, so I walk in, and I happen to walk in on the side where the thrift shop is, and I walk through the thrift
That's like
shop.
the back when you go in the back.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And can I just tell you, this is the most, like, if I walked through this and saw a pile of fecal matter, I wouldn't be shocked.
Really?
It was a fucking disgust. It's just like people walking through the place, oh, I don't need this fucking toaster, and just smashing it on the ground. Just total garbage.
It looked like an Israeli flea market
It's
after
just
the Palestinian rocket came
It's
through.
just unfucking believable. It's like, yeah, the people went looting and took all the shit that they didn't want after smashing to the ground, and then they put it in the flea market.
Ugh.
That's what it is. It
Really?
is total detritus. It is just
That's
despicable.
an old time disease, I think.
Yeah, I had
Detritus.
that in 6th grade. I needed penicillin for that. But my
Is
luckily,
it looks the front of it is the same. I haven't been there in a
no,
while
like
either.
there's still like the regular shops, but then you add this disgusting element into it.
Now is the thrift shop on the basement level, or is
No,
it
it's on the main floor when you walk in.
Oh,
the
that's
main
gross.
floor. Yeah.
Is the pickle guy still there?
I didn't see the pickle guy, actually. I don't know. I didn't see him. The truth is, I saw the Asian couple who fix watches and who take links out of watches, and they did what they used to do for me. They fixed a watch.
Yeah. Their son was in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, he was in Beetlejuice. He was the big star, big heavy set star. What's interesting is that is not like for years I've been going there, and it's always $5 for a watch battery and $5 for a link removal. And I went in there thinking like I'm going to spend a little bit more money. They're like, no, $10. That's the
Same
whole thing.
shit, really?
And I'm like, how do you survive in here?
Yeah, no, right.
How the fuck do you survive?
Oh, we live here. We live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't humor him, Tony. Jesus Christ Almighty.
We have not left this building in 35 years.
But they took care of me.
I used to always make my mom buy me nunchucks. They always used to have the rubber nunchucks that they sold there. It was
Yeah, they got in trouble for shit like that.
yeah, I got that. I used to buy knives there when I was in high school.
Really?
And I thought I was in a gang. Yeah.
What kind of gang were you in?
It was just chubby white kids from East
Oh, I
Meadow.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I don't usually like, as comics, we don't like to like when someone says to us, "Oh, you gotta tell this joke on stage, or you gotta tell this on your podcast." I normally don't like that. We don't like that as stand-up
No, not
comics.
at
We
all.
don't like
Hate it.
that. Okay, but this new kid this kid named Joe, who's a new kid that I work with, young man in his 20s. We become good friends in a very short period of time. He's at my day job, and again, we talk about this all the time. I know you guys are surprised that we talk about our day jobs, but we do it just to kind of pass the time.
Like volunteer work.
Volunteer almost, like yeah. So he sent me a story, and I verified it. I found that it's legitimate. Did you know this, that Prince Harry lost his virginity behind a pub to an old woman who spanked him? Did you know that?
No, not at all.
And then I read further that he lost his virginity to an old woman in a quick ride. Now, can you imagine that, walking past an old bar in England and seeing Prince Harry getting plugged behind an old shitty bar by some old broad with her flabby tits flopping around? Is that not amazing?
That's wild.
It struck me as very funny. So I told Joe that I was going to say it.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, since we're talking about Joe, so let me preface this by telling you that this kid Joe, who's 27, he's from Queens, started working with me about maybe not even 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and
they're male escorts.
Male escorts. So he starts working. His first day is on a Monday. Okay, by Tuesday, half of the workforce where I work is riddled with COVID.
Oh, Jesus.
COVID. So that's his first his first foray into into the life of working with us. Okay, then my car breaks down soon thereafter. So I text him like, dude, we have the Christmas party out in Bayshore on Friday. You got to come pick me up. So he's like, all right, yeah, I guess that's okay. He was cool about it. And so we get there.
I had to go pick up this old creep now.
Yeah, this old fucking douchebag who likes to eat strawberry shortcake and bed and breakfast. So we get out there, and it's raining out, and we're out in Bayshore. And for some reason, we've had our Christmas parties through work out in Bayshore before, and there's always flooding when we have it at those places on the marina. Yeah. So he's got like a nice car, like a BMW, and we park his car, and he's like, "Are we gonna be all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be all right. Let's go." I'm like, "I'm gonna be all right." I'm like, "This fucking appetizers coming for the Christmas party, and we're gonna win prizes." So we go there, and then the wait staff's like, "Did you guys park? Where'd you park over here?" I'm like, "No, we parked by the hill. We're fine." So the party breaks at 4:00. We go outside, and everything is flooded. I'm talking flooding like you've never fucking seen in a trillion years. Okay, a trillion years. Oh my God. So he's like, well, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, well, I see Pete driving this way, and he's not in the flood zone, so I'm gonna go with Pete, and I'm gonna wish you luck.
No, you were
ditched. So I ding dong ditched. I ditched him. Yeah, I ditched him. And it just felt like me scumbagging him. Like, I'm doing such a shitty job.
I would hate you forever.
But he didn't, because he's a great kid. He totally didn't. He did not.
Joe, if you're listening,
he's listening.
This guy.
He's listening. So I texted him when I got home, like, everything okay? He's like, yeah, I eventually got out. He goes, what about you? I'm like, no, I've been home for like an hour already.
Oh, my God.
And the funny thing is, Pete actually came through a flooding area, and then he pulled up, but it was still like 2 feet of water where he was, and I was like, I'm gonna get my feet fucking saturated. So I made Pete pull into the driveway.
Oh my God, it's like traveling with Liz Taylor.
It's terrible. I'm a terrible human being. So
can I tell us a similar story?
Yeah, definitely. Cut the sound. Cut this out. Stop listening.
We can edit this out.
Nobody gives a fuck. It's Tony. Nobody gives a fuck.
Never mind.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Never mind.
Cut it.
I'm putting a banner up. We have the shows here, and putting a banner up for the shows. And one of the hosts brought his banner one day, but it was cold out, and he's like, "I gotta go to work. I'll see you later." I put the banner up. I'm freezing. My hands are falling off because they're getting all frostbitten.
You look at it. You already lost a leg. Now you lose your hands too.
It's a piece of cake. Yeah. I finish putting the banner up with all the ties and whatnot. I'm freezing. He comes back. He's like, "You did a great job."
Are you serious?
Thumbs up.
Oh man.
Thumbs up. Was it me?
It was you.
Same guy, huh?
What? It was me. What a piece of
you
shit.
really are such a dick.
It was my sign you were putting up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm such a piece of shit.
Because that maybe he had to stop at work or whatever, but he just consciously didn't want to help you.
I don't think he left. I think he watched me do the job.
I have to tell you.
Oh, my God.
There's something about this
How
kid.
long after you finished did he come back?
Seconds.
Yeah.
And I turn on I'm thinking what the fuck?
I'm a bad guy.
Oh, you were really just such a piece of shit.
Hold on. There's something about this kid that we just hit it off. We get along great. He's a Yankee fan like me. We get along. But he's very easy. Like the other day, I'm like, "Hey, can you stop at the deli, get me an egg sandwich?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." He's so.
Was he going to the deli?
No, not at all. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
What did it come to? I'll get you back next week. I don't have my wallet on me.
And just so you know, it's not my nature. It really isn't my nature to be an advantage taker.
Yeah, no, I don't
that.
think he was that type
it's
of person.
Not.
But now I do.
It's not. But so the funny thing is, today he got swung into action. I was supposed to go to a high school. I'm not going to say where it was, but a high school that's a little bit of a rough area. And I was supposed to go with somebody else, and that person had an illness in the family, couldn't go. So I'm like, looks like you're driving me, Joe, because I don't have a car right now. So I'm like, Joe, what time are you working tomorrow? He's like 10:30. I'm like, pick me up at 8:30 because we gotta go early. So he's so awesome that he comes.
See, Joe, Indeed.com. He's already got his resume out.
He's the best though. So he comes and picks me up. He drives me, and he I guess I had probably worked him over a little bit as far as making him think that we were gonna be going to a pretty rough place, so he was a little concerned about it.
Yeah.
But it turned out that it was fine, and he accompanied me.
He was
and got
wearing
this-
neutral colors.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing its Crips colors. But this is where the cementing of the friendship between me and Joe happened, because some of his quirkiness is similar to mine. He has some similar personality traits that are like mine, and I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So this guidance counselor is walking us from one set of classrooms to another, and so he's walking with her, and I'm pulling the briefcase behind, and she's walking towards a very small elevator. Now, I don't go on elevators. I don't go on small elevators.
Yeah.
I generally don't go on elevators at all.
Yeah.
But I will go on a larger elevator with someone if it's in like a hotel or a casino or whatever. Yeah. But I'm curious as to how he's going to handle this elevator thing. And he turns to her and he says, "No, I don't do elevators." And I'm like,
Oh my God!
I'm like,
Stacy, I'm getting a divorce.
so I couldn't the fact that I didn't have to tell someone. I've spent my whole life, literally for years.
Did you just immediately hug him?
But it's been years having to be in weird situations, like at my mother's rehab.
Yeah.
They had to accompany me upstairs because I wouldn't go on the elevator myself.
Yeah.
Or when I used to work on the 22nd floor in the city, I have to walk up and down the fucking stairs and be sucking wind by the time I get up there. So the fact that I didn't have to be I had someone else to be the patsy was amazing. So he says to her, "No, I'm not going to do that," as they're stairs. And then as they're walking away, I hear him tell her, "I once got stuck in an elevator and I'm claustrophobic." And I'm like, I once got stuck in an elevator and I don't like being in situations like that. So
is this like a single white female kind of thing?
I don't know.
He's like taking on your whole persona.
I don't know, but I had told him that
He's like, plus I got to get home to my son Max. And
What do you think of my new watch?
yeah, right. I got a new watch.
Yeah, exactly. I hate that fucking bazaar over in Levittown. But the funny thing is, so after I had said to him, like, "Dude, that was truly amazing. You handled it with such class and grace about the elevator thing." He's like, "No." He's like, "I fucking hate elevators. I got stuck in one, and after 9/11, so I was in World Trade Center 3 days before it went down for work, and then." Once I went back to the city to work, maybe September 18th or 19th, I was stuck in an elevator soon thereafter, probably around the 18th, 19th, I guess. And after that, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm done," and I left that business soon thereafter. But like if I'm in say if I'm in the mall and there's those clear glass elevators, those I can handle.
Okay.
As long as I can see out so I can bang on them and
just
tell
somebody-
someone, "Come fucking get me!" I can handle that.
Yeah.
But if I'm stuck in an elevator, especially if you've ever been in the city in old buildings, the elevators are like you and I would be like touching lips and not normally like the voluntary way we do it.
We would.
No, I don't mean the normal way, like involuntarily. But this elevator in the high school today, it was like fucking tight.
Oh yeah.
So it was just so heroic when he said that. And so if you're listening, Joe, which I know that you are, you're my man. Thanks for spending the day with me. We had a good time. We came over here and grabbed some egg sandwiches over at get a load of this. Hold on.
That Joe paid for.
Hold on a second. So I said to him, like, no, I'm gonna pay for this. He's like, no. I got this new credit card, and I need to get a certain amount of points so I can get. I need to spend a certain amount of money so I can get points back. I'm like, all right, you got this.
No argument at all.
I'm like, okay.
Not all right. I'll get you next time. Just like, all right.
But what was funny is he was working until
Joe, my company's hiring.
Joe's the best. He's a great guy. The funny thing is, when I left today, he was working until 6:30, and I was only working till 5. And I don't have a car right now, which is another thing we'll talk about next week if I don't get it to today. So as I'm walking past his office, I was like, all right, I'm going to be walking home now. And he was like, all right, I'll see you later. So maybe he'd had enough.
I think so.
Maybe he had enough.
You laid it on pretty heavy with the I'm walking home, like you know.
And then he's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, he knew.
And then I head back. I headed onto the turnpike and I walked my ass home. So, Joe, I love you. We're good buddies. And
sounds like a good kid. I'm sorry you have to.
He's
deal
a
with
he is
sorry
a
to deal
super.
with this
He's a
mess.
super kid. But it's just funny that this kid has been involved in one clusterfuck after another.
Right, exactly.
But I think he's enjoying himself. And
well, I've been to that place, and it's a good place. So you have a good,
Which place? The mall?
The place where you guys work.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All the clusterfucks.
Tony, are you getting a backfeed noise? What is that noise? I think it's outside. I don't think it's on our headphones. I think it's outside.
Where it was coming from. Okay.
No, is it a wolf, like a red fox?
I don't know what that is.
It's red fox here. Elizabeth! No, not that red fox.
I'm coming. No, I heard
I'm coming to see your podcast, Elizabeth.
It was like a Yelp.
Oh, is it Yelp?
Yeah, you hear that? Yelp.
Are we going to be okay?
Yelp.
Are we all right? Is that what is that noise?
Some kind of
if this is the last podcast you guys ever hear.
Yeah, we love you guys.
No, we do love you. That was kind of weird, whatever it was, but we're going to sign off, I think.
You have to get a plug for something.
Oh, my plug. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So as you guys have seen... Thank you for keeping me on.
My pleasure. See,
that's because
I'm not just a pretty face on the show.
It's because I threatened you before the show about this.
Exactly.
You guys have probably seen me posting for the past few weeks that a good friend of mine, Angela, has opened up a new small business on Main Street in Farmingdale, right near the library and Croxley's and all those places. Mm-hmm. It's called Angela's Bra Boutique. And essentially, for those of you women mostly who remember the place in Hicksville called Georgette's Bra and Lingerie or Girdle or whatever, this is probably the closest thing that you'll find to that. It's an intimate setting where you can go for bra fittings, and they have really nice stuff. I went to the shop the other day to check things out. I went for a fitting, and everything came out nice. But it's just very quaint.
Do they have anything
nice.
for men there?
Huh?
They have anything?
I told you I was going to flog you to death if you,
no,
I'm
not going to.
No. So it's just a great thing. I've been posting about it.
For this?
Oh my God, and Evan, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you dead. Kill you dead. And yes, that's a 36 triple G. Okay, you fucking animal. But I've been posting. Angela has a Facebook page that people have been joining, and I know that several of the people that I've referred over there have been there, and she's given a little Mark Hirschman discount, and it's just great because the business looks like it's going to succeed. And we talk about this a lot, that we love small business.
We do.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna
I'm absolutely gonna send Carla there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just great stuff, and they have like what do they call that, loungewear or sleepwear or something like that? There's some of that stuff, and there was some blankets, and I don't know. It smelled nice in there, and people were happy, and you can tell that the community has really embraced this. The community, the people in town, I think they had like a ribbon cutting, and they put it in the patch. Is that what it's called?
I'll tell you one thing, that the downtown area of Farmingdale, they're like a small tight knit community, and she picked a great place for it.
So that's a good point, and she had posted this on the the Farmingdale Moms page, and there's been like hundreds of people like, I can't wait to come in.
Yeah.
And just as I was sitting there the other day when I went in to say hello and visit, there were people coming in and women with their daughters, and they were like, we're so excited that this is here. The last place was like one of those, the last place in that location was like a tapas bar or something, and I guess it didn't do that well. Yeah. But it seems like the community wanted something like this. So hopefully Ange, who has really been busting her ass for months to make this place look good, and really make it something that she can be proud of and the community can be proud of. She's hit a home run. So if you guys are listening and you don't want to go shopping anymore online for bras, or what is the place that they go to? The Victoria's Secret. This is a much more intimate thing with higher quality stuff, and I hope you go give it a try because it's really awesome. And Ange is great, and you can tell her that I sent you, and she'll get a kick out of that. And thank you very much.
I'm definitely gonna send Carla over there.
Yeah, awesome.
We're gonna do it because we do like you said, we support small business.
We definitely do. We do. So thank you for that, Mikey. What do you have to promote? Anything you got coming up? Or
a couple things. This weekend, I'm actually gonna be with our buddy Eric Tartaglione. We're gonna be at the Comedy Cove in Springfield, New Jersey.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
awesome.
That'll be fun. Friday, Saturday night. I will be at Moriarty's in Yonkers on the 27th of January.
Okay.
It's being sponsored by Coors Light. Our buddy Peter Herschy is going to be there.
Awesome.
And then the big show coming up here at Governor's is going to be a Valentine's Day show in the little giggle room here. Me and Carla are producing it. It's going to be couples comedy. So all the comedians on it are couples that are comedians.
And going on stage together?
Going on stage with everyone's going to do their separate 10-minute set.
Yep.
And then it's going to be interactive. So the audience has to try to guess who the couples are. And the audience is also going to get a list of questions to ask the couples. So they can ask them some risque questions.
Okay.
The audience can tell some Valentine's Day date nightmares that they've had. So it's going to be kind of an interactive thing.
Wow.
It's going to be great. It's all comedy couples. It's going to be me and Carla, obviously. Kathy Arnold. And it's not just couples that are current. It's exes or just hookups that you've had.
Okay.
So Kathy Arnold and Emily Santosis are going to be on it.
Amazing.
Bridget Kavanaugh and Dan LaRocco.
Okay.
Claudia Bonavita and her husband John Bonavita are going to be on it.
Eric Hafton, Rich Walker.
Eric Hafton, Rich Walker.
Peter Bale, Steve Lazarus. Okay. Awesome.
Andrew Washington and Melissa Claudio. And the headliners are going to be Gino Bisconti and Keanu Thompson.
Wow.
So it's gonna be
killer.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, yeah. So it's gonna
That's
be
a killer
awesome,
show,
It's
dude.
gonna be an awesome show.
Killer.
And it's not just your regular stand-up comedy show. It's gonna be a lot of interactive stuff, a lot of improv kind of stuff.
But you're not going to be doing a comedy set with Carla, though.
Not with her, no. We're gonna do our own sets, but relationship material.
Okay.
So any of the stuff we've written about, it's just gonna be all love and
Right.
but it's also dirty little hookups and
Right.
so it's not just like lovey-dovey shit. So it should be fun. It's we're working out all the details now, but it's going to be February 10th in the Giggle
I like
Room
that.
here. So see, hopefully
There was
it
this
works out.
Valentine's Day that Mike gave me a Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, that's why me and Mark are performing together
It's
here.
going to be a great show.
Yes.
All right, good. So you guys go see Mike's disgusting Valentine's Day show.
Yeah.
Go to Angela's Bra Boutique on Main Street in Farmingdale. We have to let you guys know about next Tuesday, because there's going to be some work being done here at the studio. So Tony and me and Mike are going to have to talk to figure out what's going to happen for next Tuesday. If we're going to go remote, it's not going to be feasible. Yep. But they're going to be doing some beautification work. Is that right, Tony?
That is correct. They have already started painting the hallway.
Great.
Next Tuesday, they're doing the floors.
Okay.
So I'm not even doing my show during the day on Tuesday.
Okay.
We have strict orders to stay out.
Okay, so that's a perk. Okay.
What the fuck?
Fuck you, Mark.
All right, we'll let you guys know. Thank you
Yes,
for
man.
listening. Thanks for watching. We need you to share. What are the words again?
Smash that
Yeah,
subscribe
smash.
button. I don't even know if there is a subscribe button.
I don't know
But
either.
share it. Share the show. Keep following us. Just tell your friends. Let everybody know about it. And yeah, just leave some good reviews on Facebook. Like, hey, we listen to the
we need
show.
that.
These guys are great.
Yeah.
Help us out. Throw us a little bone here.
A little bone.
We do a
Yeah.
lot of work for you fucking people.
That's right. On that note, we love you. Thank you very much.
Love you guys.
See you next
Bye.
week, maybe. Bye.